certain beaches in our country would be closed on certain days and others would remain open. As the infections continue to rise, Cabinet, on the advice of the National Coronavirus Command Council, has decided that all beaches, dams, lakes, rivers, public parks, and public swimming pools in hotspot areas will be closed to the public with effect from tomorrow. National and provincial parks and other parks where access control measures and entry limitations are already in place may remain open to the public. Those living in hotspot districts are strongly advised and encouraged to minimize their travel within the district to essential travel so as to minimize contact with other people. Travel to hotspot districts should be avoided by all of us if possible. The stark reality is that every single district in this country has the potential to become a hotspot unless we observe the current preventative measures. As we intensify our efforts to prevent further infections, we continue to work to ensure equitable access to an effective COVID-19 vaccine. As we have reported before, South Africa is part of the global pooled procurement initiative coordinated by COVID-19 Vaccines Global Access Facility, commonly known as COVAX. We can confirm that we have signed off on the agreement with COVAX, and the Solidarity Fund has made the initial payment of 283 million rand to the facility. We are grateful for the support we continue to receive from the Solidarity Fund across all areas of our COVID response. We should remember that the Solidarity Fund is a multi-sectoral funded initiative, having received funding from government, a number of individual South Africans, also from various institutions, including political parties, as well as business corporations. We are part of the first group of countries that will receive an allocation of vaccines from COVAX. We have been advised that we should expect the vaccines in our country in the second quarter of 2021. We are also having parallel bilateral discussions with a number of vaccine manufacturers and will make further announcements once firm agreements are in place. As a country, we need to build a strong partnership between the government and business to augment the resources required in financing additional vaccines necessary to achieve herd immunity. Engagement to this effect are at an advanced stage, and we urge the private sector to continue their participation in this endeavor. And we applaud them for having embarked on an initiative that will be beneficial to all South Africans, but announcements in this regard will be made in due course. We are working to secure a sufficient supply of vaccines in the shortest possible time to protect the most vulnerable in our community. Until then, we have no choice but to observe the highest degree of vigilance and to protect ourselves and others in every way that we can. We each have a responsibility to wear our masks, to continue washing our hands and sanitizing them, and to continue keeping a safe distance from others. We must remember that this virus is carried through the air and that we must therefore avoid what has been described as the 3 C's: closed spaces, crowded places, and close contact with others. This virus takes advantage of our overconfidence. Because we feel healthy now, we think we cannot get sick. Because they seem fine, we believe that nothing bad can happen to our loved ones. As older people, we think it is okay. We are healthy, so we can still go to big religious services, to funerals, and socialize with our friends. I had a conversation with a friend who informed me that they have lost up to 5 family members who attended funerals of each other. And a sad, dark cloud has descended on their family. This virus is real. As young people, we may feel strong and invincible and believe that we are immune to becoming infected because we are young and strong. As a result, we let our guard down and we take risks. Many of those who have been infected with the virus or who have lost their friends and family in recent months will tell you how much they regret not taking the precautions that have been so well advertised when they had the chance. We can only weather this storm if we immediately and fundamentally change our behavior and our mindsets. Compliance with the health regulations should not be simply about fearing the wrath of the law. It should not be about reluctant observance or peer pressure. This is about common sense. It is about taking responsibility for our own health and the health of others. It is about protecting our mothers and fathers, our grandparents, our siblings, our children, our neighbors, our friends, our colleagues. Wearing a mask is not about your personal choice or your own appetite for risk. Instead, it is about protecting others. If you wear a mask and the person next to you does not, then you are not protected. If you wear a mask and the person next to you keeps their mask in their pocket, then you are at risk. Only if everyone wears a mask can we protect all of us from infection. By now, each one of us knows someone who has been affected by this pandemic in some way. There is none amongst us who can claim that we have not heard of anyone becoming ill or even dying. This is a crisis that affects all of us. This is about our lives. The sooner we understand that it could very well be us in that ambulance speeding by, or us in that hospital bed, or us being buried at that funeral, the sooner we come to the reality of what we are facing right now. If we do not understand it, or if we didn't understand it before, we should now see just how quickly a situation can change for the worse. This is precisely what we are facing now. Our situation has changed for the worse. The new year is upon us. Our children will soon be going back to school. Places of learning will soon reopen so that they can resume their studies. We will want to get back to work, to earning, and to looking for work. We want our life to resume. We all have plans and hopes and dreams for 2021. Perhaps the greatest of them all is the simplest. We wish for the new year to bring better health, stability, and prosperity for ourselves and our families. We want it to be better than the year that has passed, because it's been a horrible year. It's been a year that has been filled with hardship. This can become our common reality if we return to the spirit of solidarity that we have displayed throughout 2020. We can, and we will, and we must defeat this pandemic. But we can only do so if we all play our part. If we experience any mild symptoms, such as a fever, a dry cough, or a tiredness, the advice is you must isolate yourself immediately and cancel any plans that you might have had. If you have difficulty breathing or shortness of breath, fever, cough, loss of smell or taste, seek medical attention immediately. We've often said that you should download the COVID Alert SA app and get notified if you have been in contact with someone with tests who have tested positive. This app has already notified many thousands of people of their potential exposure to the virus and has prevented further transmission. If you have been exposed, quarantine yourself immediately. I know that most of you have heard of this all before, but I say it again, because it is the only way we can keep ourselves and one another safe. If we all rigorously adhere to the basic precautions, and I beg you all, we will see an immediate decline in the infections and hospital admissions. This New Year's Eve will be different to any we have experienced before. Several South Africans have suggested on social media and in many other platforms that we should celebrate the dawn of the new year in a different way, and I agree with them. They have suggested that instead of parties, let us spend time with those closest to us. I support that. There have been a number of suggestions, as I said, in social media that instead of fireworks, which is the usual way in which we welcome the new year, let us each light a candle. Let us each light a candle in memory of those who have lost their lives, in tribute to those on the front line who are working tirelessly to protect us from harm, in appreciation of the great sacrifices that have been made by all those who have passed on this year, and in the confidence that the year ahead will bring health, will bring peace and hope to our people. I will light a candle at some spot here in Cape Town at exactly midnight on New Year's Eve, in memory of those who have lost their lives and in tribute to those who are on the front line working to save our lives and protect us from harm. I also ask you to join me wherever you are in this very important symbolic gesture. Let us continue to work as one nation, united and determined. We have done it before, we can do it again. There will come a day when this pandemic will be over. On that day, we must be able to look one another in the face and say, we gave it all that we had. We each played our part. We worked together as one nation, and we prevailed. May God continue to bless our beautiful country and protect a valuable people. I thank you.